Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Good MZANSI with me, your host, Jarette Petzer. Today we are joined by Brett White. He is the CEO of ZAPPER. We've got some pretty cool news coming up in terms of hashtag I'm staying and ZAPPER collaborating. We're going to just unpack that a little bit more and tell you what that is. Brett, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay, thanks. All things considered, doing quite well, thank you.
Sure.
Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been tough out there, and obviously there's a lot of uncertainty and instability within the marketplace. Tell us, how is ZAPPER doing under these circumstances?
Well, from a market perspective, obviously the transactions have dropped off a cliff a bit, given the fact that all our valued merchants are currently closed. We've got other merchants in other areas, so there are still transactions coming through, but nothing, the volumes that we were seeing prior to the lockdown. But we full steam ahead, man. The team's been working remotely for the last couple of weeks, 5 weeks as of yesterday. And we full steam ahead. A lot of great opportunities coming out of it, I suppose. So there are some positives with the negatives.
Cool. So QR codes and ZAPPER transactions are something that's just, rocketed over the last couple of years. Can you just give us a little bit of background for people that may not be aware of what ZAPPER is, what it does, and how it came about?
Sure. So I think how it came about is a bit of a longer story. I think it was, there was an opportunity to create a way for people to be able to scan or to be able to pay with their mobile phones. And that was long before sort of tap and go NFC technologies like you see with Apple Pay, Google Pay, and the likes. So there was an opportunity to reduce a friction point in a sit down restaurant or in a market type situation, where people didn't have to wait for the PIN entry device from the waiter in order to be able to make the payments. So I think that was kind of where it fundamentally kicked off. So it's just a simple QR code that gets rendered or printed on a receipt or put on a screen, or it's on a sticker or a static stand, etc. And a user with the app installed can just scan that QR code and make a payment. And then we've got added benefits like the ability to seamlessly add a tip, split the bill, use vouchers as discounts off of your transaction, earn loyalty off of that payment, rate the restaurant or the merchant after your transaction. So all of that is just trying to enable the merchant to have a better customer understanding and take away a friction point for the users.
Fantastic. So it's a point and click system. It just allows you to just do things on the fly, just like that. Absolutely. And then obviously all the added benefits that come with it. That's just phenomenal. How big is your user base?
Sure. Look, it depends. We could give you vanity numbers in terms of the number of downloads we've had over the years, but that's not a fair metric. But it's a decent user base. I don't think I'm going to throw out exact numbers at this point, but it's a couple 100,000 active users on a monthly basis, and we've got tens of thousands of active merchants currently on the platform every month.
Okay, so those merchants, obviously, as you said, are currently a lot of them are basically battling to do transactions. I know that you guys have got you've got a stunning technology in place. Tell us how your technology is able to benefit people at this time. Let's just touch on the voucher system slightly.
Yeah, sure. So when this thing kicked off, we thought, well, how is it that we could help the merchants through this difficult time? Obviously, a lot of them were affected by the lockdown. Most of them, I think it's about 80% of our footprint, if not more, that are affected by this. A lot of small restaurants, coffee shops, and small businesses. And we thought, well, what way can we enable them to take transactions during this period? So the first thing that we could do, which was quite easy for us, technically speaking, was an implementation to introduce a feature into the app as quickly as we possibly could to allow people to donate to those merchants. And to date, that's done really well. And I think it was about a week later we launched the ability for any user who opens the ZAPPER app. Basically, the way it works is there's a listing of all our merchants, and it pulls up the list of merchants closest to your proximity, and you can tap into it and tap into the actual merchant itself and donate or buy a voucher for future spend. So in other words, I'm pre-purchasing my next visit to that restaurant. So to date, as of yesterday, I think we had gone over 100,000 rands worth of donations to all those merchants, and 100,000 rands worth of vouchers have been purchased as well. Now that's and those fees, we waived the fees on those transactions. So the merchant, if a user paid them 500 rand, they got 500 rand. There was nothing skimmed off from our perspective.
So 0 rated. The whole thing's 0 rated.
0 rated, yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, so if I'm a business owner, I've got a hair salon, and I've got a client base of, call it 100 regular clients. They don't know that I am that I've got this facility. Am I able to sort of send a link to my clients and let them know that this feature exists?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
They just need to, the merchant would just need to get in touch with us. We'll give them the link, and then they can share it out to their audience. Absolutely. Or they can just tell the audience to go to Zapper, search for them, and tap donate or buy a voucher.
All right, fantastic. So there's a number of ways in which we can actually get people familiar with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I guess the important thing here, I mean, so the donations is fantastic. Obviously, you know, people just giving out of their own free will, but I think it's really important to say, guys, you know, you can future purchase a service from us, and then you can use it at a later date. I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, what's been interesting, I think, is the uptake of people still making donations, even though we have the voucher capability. So people are actually still making donations to the merchants as opposed to trying to get something out of it for themselves, which I think is fantastic. It's been amazing.
What learning have you taken out of this situation to date, Brett?
I don't know. I think that you know, I think that people are more generous than I think we thought. Well, at least that sounds awful. I don't think I ever felt that people weren't kind or whatever. But you know, these features took traction immediately. As soon as we launched them, we got a lot of traction, a lot of adoption, lots of payments coming through immediately. I think the first afternoon we sold a dozen. Well, we had a dozen donations within a couple of hours. Without any marketing effort behind it. So I think that there's just been a massive influx of people looking out for their favorite local, you know, business, restaurants, coffee shop, etc. So it's been great.
So that's fantastic. So let's just unpack our relationship in terms of how this is going to go forward. I mean, so you and I have had discussions in terms of the partnership between #I'mStaying and Zapper. And if we can maybe just flesh that out a little bit in terms of how we foresee this thing working.
Yeah, look, we just trying to, I mean, what we chatted with you guys is just to try and grow the audience. You know, we want to help these merchants out. It's not about Zapper. It's not about us making money, as I already said to you. You know, we're 0 rating it. It's about helping these merchants through this difficult time. I mean, it's the sad truth is I think a lot of them won't open their doors again, you know, post this lockdown, and that's a sad reality, and we need to do what we can to try and help them out. And the only way we can do that is with volume. You know, we need more people coming into the platform and donating or buying vouchers for, you know, for when this lockdown's over. Okay. So we just need the numbers, really.
On just a final question, Brett. I mean, what is your message for South Africa and for small business owners today?
Oh, I think for South Africa, in terms of the general public, hang in there, guys. And, you know, if you can afford to, I know a lot of people have been hit by this thing where they've had either they've lost their jobs or they've had to take a pay cut. And I know it's tough for everybody. So, you know, if you can help, please do. And for those merchants that are out there that are struggling through this time, sorry, video bombing here. You know, this is the life of working from home at this point in time. So, yeah, look, I think that the merchants just need to try and hang in there, guys. I think this will be over soon, hopefully, and we'll do whatever we can as a brand and as a product and as a community, I suppose, to try and bring you guys as much business as possible over the next couple of months to try and recover.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brett White from Zapper, and we're looking very forward to this collaboration, Brett. Hopefully we get to reach as many people as possible and just all work together during this difficult time. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to this going forward, and let's see what we can do for South Africa.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure, my friend. Take care.
Cheers.
You